Overturning a Democratic election and impeaching the president is a serious matter. It's worthy of careful debate. So yesterday, Congressman Matt Gaetz of Florida and several other Republican members of Congress occupied a closed-door impeachment hearing. They insisted that its proceedings ought to be public, at least to other members of the House of Representatives. But instead of debating that question, though, the press and the Democratic Party had another angle. Gaetz and his allies were wrong because of how they were born, because of their skin color. Watch this.
Looking at these members coming in, you saw a handful of women. Other than that, you just saw a bunch of white men, and I just thought to myself, this is not what America looks like right now.
When watching those Republicans yesterday march, those white guys, those middle-aged, boring, nerdy-looking white guys walk down that steps was pathetic.
This looked like a Klan group that had assembled outside of a jail trying to get the sheriff to let them in so they could deliver their own justice.
So what happened yesterday was a high school prank by a bunch of 50-year-old white men.
So the last person you saw there sitting on the Morning Joe set was California Congresswoman Jackie Speier. Earlier today, Congressman Gaetz responded to her on MSNBC. Congressman Gaetz joins us tonight. So, Congressman, you responded to her remarks about you, and what did you say?
I was really taken aback that the way that NBC News would choose to have a discussion about impeachment or transparency or Syria would be initially to try to put me on defense because I'm a white male. I guess, Tucker, I'm a little old-fashioned. I identify as a white male because I am a white male. And to use language the left is familiar with, I guess it's because I was born this way. But you know what? I predicted this last night sitting next to you on your show. I said that Democrats in the House were trying to impeach President Trump because they did not want to substantively engage him on the issues, and that this was part of a broader strategy to deplatform, delegitimize, and destroy anyone who champions the America First agenda. We saw that in play before your show even came back on, because instead of discussing the serious issues, they just talk about my race.
It's completely irrelevant to anything as far as I can tell, but it's also the most divisive thing you could say. So is the standard that we're allowed to dismiss people because of their skin color? I mean, I don't want to live in a country where people do that. I think it's awful. But that's commonplace now. Why would NBC allow that? And what did they say when you called them on it?
Well, I was flabbergasted. I said it was offensive and it's not reflective of a substantive interview, and I tried to then get to, I think, what is the important substance, because the risk, Tucker, is that if we take the bait to always be discussing identity rather than the work the president's doing, or frankly the work we're doing to try to have more openness in this impeachment process, then the left wins. But we see this as a new strategy, whether it's Ayanna Pressley saying we don't need any more black faces that aren't black voices, or any more queer faces that aren't queer voices. I don't even know what that means, but it is part of the new game plan for them to try to avoid substantive discussions on the issues by making everything about identity. We should stand against that.
Yes, it's such poison, and so many Republicans ignore it or cringe or whatever. And I mean, it's terrible for the country. It doesn't matter whether you're liberal or conservative. None of us should want this, and you're one of the very few who's ever said anything about it, and I'm glad that you did.